the last part of this emerging political trends. You know very well that last class we have learned about the emergence of the coalition politics. Coalition governments have come into existence. We need to understand one very important thing here, that is the coalition politics has raised a curtain for the introduction of multi-party system with priority for the local regional parties. See, previously the national parties only, they used to have a complete power or strength in determining the policies. But now these small parties, that is regional parties, when they started supporting the government, automatically they have a word or they have a say in the policy decisions of the central government also. Means what happened? The local parties or the regional parties have increased their power to dictate the terms even in the central policy decisions. This is the advantage of the coalition politics. And see here what has happened for the first time. The coalition politics means there we have seen 4 different coalition governments. The first coalition government in our country, that is National Front government. National Front government led by Janata Dal of VP Singh, supported by AGP, TDP or SAD, like this, all these important regional parties, which has established their government from 1989 to 1991. 1989 to 1991 they rule. Means you might have got a doubt. What, madam, when an elected government is there, it should rule for 5 years? No, you are telling only 2 years. You are right. This government, this particular National Front government, run with the help of the supporting parties. They could not assert complete powers, and even there were clashes for the post, for the power. You can see very clearly that all these have finally resulted in the falling down of the government within 2 years. So by 1991 it has completely failed. Janata Dal government, actually Vishwanath Pratap Singh became the Prime Minister. And after some time we can see very clearly that after 1991, during this particular period 1996 to 1998, another coalition government has come into existence, that is United Front. United Front government. This actually United Front government was led by BJP, supported by Janata Dal, and also the Karnataka. That is, they have all these parties, they have supported BJP. See, BJP, it is a very important party which has recognized the importance of giving priority to the majority sections of the people. They have come out with a slogan. What is that slogan? In the name of protecting the interest of the minorities, the majority's interest is getting compromised. Once again I repeat. In the name of protecting the interest of the minorities, the majority's interest is being compromised. It should not happen. With that slogan, they have come into existence. See, you can see very clearly that in the 1984 elections, it won only 4 seats. But it has come out with certain programs. Like I told you that for the protection of the minorities, majority's rights should not be compromised. And for that particular purpose, they have come out with an issue, that is Ayodhya issue. Actually, in our country, Ayodhya, it is considered as the birthplace of Lord Rama, and there one particular mosque is there, that is Babri Masjid was there. In this Babri Masjid, actually BJP, they started contending that this particular area, that is where Babri Masjid was there, in that particular area there was a Sri Rama temple was there. Means the temple was destroyed during some Muslim rule period, and a mosque has been erected. And hence they started demanding that in that place of the Muslim mosque a temple that should be built for Lord Rama. And why they are demanding that? Because that is the birthplace of Lord Rama. Lord Rama is a holy god of the Hindus. Hence they started demanding that they wanted a temple to be constructed in the area of the Babri Masjid. This was not obviously acceptable to the Muslim people. They started demanding that it is the holy place, it is the prayer, it is the place of the prayer for them, and hence they did not accept that. There were certain problems, and hence finally the Supreme Court has decided that it shall be closed. It shall be closed, and only on one particular day it can be opened. It can be opened. But after some time they have accepted. The Supreme Court also has given a verdict that okay, you can utilize that, you can go for that. And slowly this has given rise for certain events like that mosque was destroyed by certain governments, that is during the period of Kalyan Singh, and all these things has resulted finally in making a big issue. And so to promote the interest of the people, in the construction of the Lord Rama temple, Mr. Lal Krishna Advani, one of the BJP leaders, he led a Radha Yatra in the year 1990. So 1990 Radha Yatra, see here that for the first time they won only 4 seats in 1984 elections. But later, after the Radha Yatra, they won 120 seats in the year 1991. So like this, what happened? 1991, they won the elections. And with these 1991, after that, slowly they increased their power. And by 1996, BJP is able to win the power. But they could not win complete majority. Hence, with the support of the National Front, they formed the government. That is from 1996 to 1998, United Front government led by NDA was existed. So, United Front is also one of the coalition governments. But even this did not rule for a complete period. It has only ruled for only 2 years, 1996 to 1998. And then afterwards it has failed, and from then onwards 1999 to 2004, with complete period of 5 years, NDA has successfully completed the first coalition government. What is meant by NDA? National Democratic Alliance, led by BJP. And along with all the other parties. So they have completed successfully the period and 1999 to 2004, first successful coalition government. And later from 2004 to 2014, 10 years, that means UPA, United Progressive Alliance, under the leadership of Congress. This is also one of the coalition government only. Coalition government, Congress along with all the other parties, they have formed the coalition under the name of the UPA, United Progressive Alliance, and they have completed 10 years period. Means the first coalition government to be re-elected. Which is the first coalition government? No doubt National Front government led by VP Singh. Which is the first coalition government successfully completed the period? No doubt NDA 99 to 2004. Which is the first coalition government to be re-elected? That is UPA 2004 to 2014. This is first coalition government to be re-elected. If you see NDA 2014 to 2019, and even from 2019 to coming 2024 also, that is under the leadership of BJP NDA only. So, but this is first time who got re-elected was the UPA government. Understood? So, these are the different things that we need to remember about the coalition politics. But there is a drawback in the coalition politics, because these governments, they are unable to take any strong policy decision due to the fear that the support may be withdrawn at any particular time. And this is what happened during the period of 1989 to 1999. When Ayodhya temple issue was there, Lal Krishna Advani led the Rath Yatra. He was arrested. He led the Rath Yatra from Somnath to Ayodhya, and during this after the completion of that Rath Yatra, he was arrested. When he was arrested, this National Front government, which was supported by BJP, it has withdrawn its support. That shows very clearly that there is always a threat to the coalition governments, the withdrawal of the support. And even the same thing repeated when United Front government was formed under the leadership of BJP. It was supported by Janata Dal. Of course, it was supported by Congress also, but unfortunately, it was a failure. Congress has withdrawn the power, and immediately the next year itself, 1999, BJP won with complete majority. But this time they understood that the main weakness of the coalition government is this policy paralysis. Because after the elections are over, they are forming a coalition. They are asking that please support me so that I can form the government. They understood that because of this agreement after the elections only, they are becoming a failure. So before the elections, that is 1999 to 2004, before the elections itself, these parties, they have come to an understanding with cooperation committees, with a constructive program, with the seats arrangement. Okay, we all together will contest in the elections. These many seats you contest, these areas you contest, these areas we will contest. We will not oppose each other, and we will win the elections, and we together will form the government. Like that, a mutual understanding was the main attribute in the next era of the coalition politics, that is 1999 to 2004. During that particular period, a very constructive coalition politics has entered into the political scenario of India. Due to these coalition politics, slowly what happened, the importance of the regional parties has improved. Importance of the regional parties has improved in our country. So what happened in the country during this particular period? Some very important decisions were taken, especially that is National Front government under VP Singh. They have extended the constitutional privileges of the reservations even to the OBC people also. Actually, you know very well, the constitution has provided reservations only for the SCs and STs. Now, they extended those constitutional privileges even to the OBC by providing 27% of the reservations. This is on the recommendations of the Mandal Commission. And now with this what happened? Many of the people, those who are the other backward castes, they won this privilege. Slowly they have improved their conditions, and they started enhancing their position not only in the politics but also in the economy. Actually, you know very well that due to the changes in the economic structure of our country, some of the castes, they have improved their conditions. Like already we know in the last lesson, Vokkaligas, Vellalas, or the other caste, Jats, Yadavas, all these people, they have increased their power. They have increased or enhanced their positions. And this finally what happened? They started believing that, okay, we are increasing our economic position, we have increased our status, but still we are not given equal opportunity in the jobs, that is employment, or even in the education. So with this what happened? The OBC reservations are provided in employment and also in the education. And with this improvement in the conditions, they started asserting their positions even in politics. Means the constitutional privileges that were extended to this OBC has improved the conditions of certain people. Actually, this was not acceptable to many of the other political parties. Many political parties, they did not accept this. They started feeling that it may spoil the conditions of equality or the balance, the equilibrium of the society. They started feeling that, but no party could dare say that. Why? Because if they say that it is not correct, they may lose their votes and they may not win in the next elections. Hence, they did not dare enough to come out of that, but they are not actually in favor of this OBC reservations, but these OBC reservations were provided during the period of the Vishwanath Pratap Singh, that is 27% reservations for the OBC. So, this is one important thing. Then during the period of 1980, National Front government has fallen down. Unfortunately, Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated by the LTT militants in 1991. When 1991 Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated, this has given rise for a sympathetic wave, and automatically that Congress won with highest majority. So 91 to 96, this particular period is the period of the Congress. And for the first time, one very famous Telugu leader, Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, became the Prime Minister from the southern areas. When he became the Prime Minister, he has observed that certain changes are very important. You remember that in the last lesson I told you that Rajiv Gandhi wanted to give importance for the Panchayat Raj institutions, and at the same time he has introduced the liberalized budget. So, in order to promote those ideals, Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao also has promoted the Panchayat Raj institutions by taking up two important amendments of the Constitution, 73rd and 74th Amendment of the Constitution. 73rd Amendment of the Constitution, it provides for the regular elections on the basis of the universal adult franchise to the rural local self-governing institutions. 74th Amendment also, it is also the elections on the basis of the universal adult franchise for urban local self-governing institutions. And very important aspect here we need to remember, children, that is 1/3 of the seats are reserved for the woman. 1/3 seats are reserved for the woman, and so seats are reserved for the SCs and STs according to the Constitution. So like this, this has given rise, and at the same time the states were given autonomy. The states were given autonomy or independence to decide the powers to be given to these local self-governing institutions. Means the states are given the power to decide what powers are to be given to these local self-governing institutions. Like this, all these things has been included into the 73rd and 74th Amendments. These are called as the path-breaking amendments. And at the same time, during this particular period, during the National Front government, that is during the VP Singh government, the treasury has become empty, and for the promotion of the economy of our country, Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, he approached the World Bank, and according to that suggestions given by the World Bank, he has to adjust the economy of our country. Certain adjustments are to be made such that they can promote the interest of the country. And hence, as a part of this structural adjustment, certain steps are taken by Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao. What are the steps that are taken during this particular period? We call them as the liberalization policy. See, structural adjustment program taken in the year 1991 by Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, and we call that as a liberalization policy. See, the roots are there during the period of the Rajiv Gandhi. And during 1991, what are the steps that are taken as a part of this structural adjustment? First one is reduction in public expenditure. You know very well, children, that the means during the period of independence and even after the independence, the governments they have decided to encourage the industrialization. But at that particular time, many of the people they don't have sufficient amount of investment to start large industries. Hence, the government itself has invested in public sector industries. Like it has started the steel in iron and steel industries, or it has started the industries like Bharat Heavy Electronics Limited, or it has started GAIL. Like this, several industries were invested by the government. The share of the government is 80% to 75 to 80%. But now it wanted to reduce its public expenditure by selling away the shares to the private people. That means now this every time investing such amount of such money is not possible for the government, and even the living standards of the people have increased. Some of the large enterprises they are able to invest now, they are able to understand that. Hence they wanted to sell away the shares in the public sector to the private peoples in the form of reducing the public expenditure. The public expenditure or government expenditure they wanted to reduce by selling the shares of the companies, government companies. The second one is reducing the restrictions on imports. To protect the interest of the Indian producers or the local industries, the government they used to impose more taxes on the imports. They used to impose more restrictions on the imports in order to protect the interest of the local industries or in order to produce the regional industries. But now they understood that the industrialists have raised their standard. Now they are able to compete with the world. Now they can protect their own interest, and for that particular purpose they have taken a decision of removing certain restrictions and also reducing the taxes on the foreign imports. They maintain the same restrictions on very essential commodities like the paddy or wheat, the food grain items, but they have reduced the restrictions on some items. Like this, reducing restrictions and taxes on the imports. And at the same time, they have reduced the restrictions on the foreign investment. Now they have opened the total country's economy for the investments from the outside countries. They can come and invest in our country. So foreign investment was also encouraged by removing the restrictions. This is the third point. And finally, the fourth one is opening more sectors for the private investors. Because until then, all the telephones or all the communication was under the government only. Now they have opened that for the private sector. Banking was under the government sector. Now they have opened for the private sector. That airlines was only under the government sector. They have opened for the private sector. Like this, many private sectors were given an opportunity to invest in many of the areas. Like this, by adjusting the structure of the economy, they wanted to improve the economy of our country. With this, what happened? India has entered into the world market, means globalization took place. And this, of course, this has given rise for some problems. But at the same time, it has improved the economy by promoting the employment, by promoting the quality of the goods that are produced, by enhancing the choice of the consumers. Like this, it has promoted the economy of our country. It has been taken up in this particular manner. So these are the different steps that were taken during this particular 1991, which we came across during the period of Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao. This we call that as a structural adjustment program. And very, very important thing is the coalition politics in our country, that is at the central level, it has failed due to the inclusion of many of the parties. But do you know, children, 1977 to 2006, such a long period, one particular coalition government only ruled one particular state. Very successful, very, very successful. Which state? West Bengal. In West Bengal, all the left parties, they have formed into a coalition. What are the left parties? CPI, CPIM, Forward Bloc, Socialist Party, all these parties, they have come together to form the coalition government in West Bengal. And they have successfully ruled up to 2006 and under the leadership of CM Jyoti Basu. Really, this is really a welcoming issue. Then you may have a doubt, how is this possible? How is this possible? Because it is a combination of many of the parties. How it happened in West Bengal, how they are successful. The success sutra is only one, that is the successful implementation of the land reforms. And these land reforms, they are introduced in the form of Operation Bharga. What is that? Operation Bharga. What do you mean by Operation Bharga? All the sharecroppers in the country, they were surveyed and they were given the rights on the land by recognizing them. In the survey, they have recognized, they have called out that this particular landlord, who is the land tiller? Are you the land tiller? Okay, write his name. And until he continues his period, he cannot be removed by the landlord. First thing. Second thing is, it was made hereditary also. After him, his son automatically will become the tiller of the soil. Like this, they have fixed the sharecroppers. Means they protected the interest of the sharecroppers. And also they have fixed the rent also. If the sharecroppers pay all the expenditure, just expenditure without any labor, by 75, then the sharecropper should get 75% of the produce. If the landlord pays, then 50% of the land produce can be taken as the rent. Like this, the land rents were also enhanced. This has reduced the rural poverty by 30%. By 30%, the rural poverty was reduced. Of course, there was certain criticisms that 70% of the eligible sharecroppers, they did not get any cards, they did not get the pattas, like that some criticism was there. But even then, this successful implementation of the land distribution has provided for the successful functioning of this left front government in West Bengal. So children, what did we learn in this lesson? So many trends were there, so many trends. Emergence of multi-party system, the socio-economic changes in influencing the democracy, the coalition politics, introduction of the religion, corruption in a very high level, and the rise of the voices of the minority sections of the people, and very strong coalition politics. The constitutional privileges are extended, and even very important amendments have come into existence. So these are the different trends that we observed in this particular period. Good day children, tomorrow we will meet with another lesson.